afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Panikar, for the opportunity and the Chemtech team uh, to give us this opportunity to talk to you about a very. This is actually to condense it into maybe the talk that we are looking at in a few hours may not be the justice to the extent of work that needs to be done in terms of getting the maximum advantage out of configuration changes, or even as they term it as refinery petrochemical integration and added flexibility. Now when you look at flexibility, you're talking about flexibility on two sides. Flexibility on the feed side, and at the same time flexibility on the product side. Now, if we go back to, I guess Honorable Secretary mentioned about this during his talk today, was that while there was a demand for certain refinery streams in the coming future, there is really not a demand for the other refinery streams in the same time for the future. So effectively, the choice of the refiner would find themselves limited, with a situation where, if I have to if I have to refine more crude, I will end up with, multiple products, which then I need multiple destinations depending on the market situation, market condition, um, the prevalent economics of a lot of streams. Over the past, we've seen pre-COVID and post-COVID, even the same rate of growth, whatever we're seeing as percentages, the product demands are considerably different. And this is where this term that is mentioned, flexibility, would come, very, very handy. And my other colleague mentioned a lot of the options and technologies and what is possible. One of the things which KBR offers is one of the widest toolboxes when you are trying to achieve an integration of your refinery with the petrochemical side. So I have a couple of slides, and maybe I would use them to make the point more clearer, if you permit. Please let me know if when you see the screen, or if you see my presentation.
Not yet. We cannot see the screen.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We can see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can see it.
Yeah. So I think this picture kind of gives a good summary of what we're trying to achieve with trying to bridge multiple products or multiple feedstocks. Now, some of the streams mentioned on the left are actually valued products a few years ago, or even till last few years, and that is gas oil, diesel, and naphtha. These found industry-wide use, and as projections are saying, each of them will wean out in a different fashion or at a different pace and rate. However, on the right hand side are petrochemical products that seem to have stood the test of time, and will, or are projected at least to be in demand for coming more than 50 years time. So it makes sense that configurations within a refinery, or technology additions within a refinery, or combined refinery petrochemical site, are tuned to maximize most of the products on the right. Now, if we look at the KBR set of technologies or options that KBR provides, one of our tools or technologies that enables maximum flexibility in the terms that we are talking about today, for users to convert most of the streams on the left to the most valuable streams on the right. And this this is a steam cracker technology. However, the KBR technology enables a user to crack even the heavier, so-called heavier streams for the desired products on the right. And this is where I guess this enables alignment with the theme or the tune of flexibility. Because if you look on the left, you have multiple streams that you can crack and still get the three most valuable petrochemical products that you desire. Going forward is specifically around the C3s. Now, propane and propane dehydrogenation to propylene. This is the KBR K-Pro, which offers conversion of complete conversion of almost complete conversion of propane to propylene. Now, this is another if we're talking about flexibility, another Mr. Flexible, where this is the KBR's catalytic olefin technology, and again provides a platform to the refiner on converting any of their available C4 streams, or even the difficult to route naphtha streams through the catalytic olefin technology, or the KCOT, and again get you a mix or a blend of the desired products on the right, which are again ethylene, propylene, and BTX. We move further down, and this is more around extraction. So as we saw, that BTX still remains a desired set of products for the petrochemical downstream and the value chain downstream. And the AED BTX technology that KBR offers enables extraction of these molecules out of the naphtha streams within a refinery. Now, when we're talking about a refinery, we're not talking about refineries which will be, or if there are any built now from now on. These are refineries which stand today, and no matter how much there comes a test of time as changes, the changes or reconfigurations will have to be done on existing assets to maximize profitability. Looking at the investment that you need for a grassroots greenfield refinery, I do not think governments or companies would be interested in making such moves now. So most of these, or these flexible changes would need to be brought about within existing setups or within existing configurations. Moving ahead, we spoke about the light ends. Now we talk about the medium or the middle cuts of various product streams in a refinery. And how do I maximize the products on the right using these as feed, which were at one time products themselves? And the KBR's Maxofin technology, the FCC with multi-riser design, enables this conversion, where you have the high severity FCC with conventional feeds like the gas oils or the hydrotreated gas oils or even acids. But at the same time, you have risers for other streams like naphtha or diesel that could be cracked in the same unit. Now, the flexibility component of it is built in here, where you may not have the naphtha or diesel, or a combination of the two, or the proportion of the two that you designed the unit for, but the inbuilt flexibility is that the refiner can switch to all gas oil or maximum diesel, minimum gas oil, or gas oil plus maximum naphtha in these Maxofin units. So effectively giving the handle, or again as today's terms as flexibility, to the refinery for maximizing the products on the right. So as you see here, we till now we haven't really moved to any technology which will improve or increase any of the fuels, and which is what seems to be the theme of today, where although Mr. Shukla also mentioned this earlier, that the demand is really going to wean out in the 40s or maybe late 30s for our motor fuels. So you will still need to make motor fuels, and these technologies, or rather the Maxofin, enables you to also operate it as a normal FCC, where you would still manufacture your gasoline if need be, or as the market asks for. I think Rajesh spoke about some of the resid, and two options that you have with resid is either carbon rejection or hydrogen addition. And here are the options that KBR offers on the carbon rejection. Now, we've seen cokers as a tool in the industry for quite some time for carbon rejection. However, as the times that we are seeing now, or in the immediate visible future, as they say, those would not be the most suitable units for configuration. So effectively, the ROSE, or residual oil supercritical extraction, the solvent deasphalting technology that KBR offers, enables users multi-uses for the streams that you generate out of a solvent deasphalting unit. And while I say this, I'm also saying that for prospective use of deasphalted oil right up in the core furnaces as a steam cracker feed. And these are things that you could achieve within a given set of hardware and configuration in your refinery. And this is truly the flexibility that these technologies would offer to a site which eventually intends to have flexibility of product mixes depending on maybe demand, maybe geographical position, situation, maybe mandates, as some of our refineries have to handle in the country, where they're given mandates of production a certain percentage of their crude. So those things, these configurations help you achieve, at the same time maintain profitability. And the other bottom of the barrel, which right now, or till the time COVID did not strike, was of a lot of interest to a lot of refiners, was around the bottom of the barrel slurry phase hydrocracking technology, that the Weber Cogney cracking that KBR offers. And again, here what you're seeing is conversion of the bottom of the barrel into two possible streams. One is a finished fuel motor stream, or motor fuel stream, or gas oil, which acts as a feed again to any of the other conversion options like the Maxofin, or if it is hydrotreated, going even to the steam cracker. So, I mean, if we look at what a possible solution like this could look like. Now, I've just used a configuration and a possible addition of some of these technologies that we spoke about in an existing diesel-oriented refinery. Now, look at the block diagram in black is an existing refinery which is diesel-oriented. On the left, on the graph, as you see here, you would see the existing product slates from the refinery. And with the addition of the ROSE and the Weber Combi cracking, the score for conversion of the streams from the FCC. What you eventually attain here is a complete destruction of the fuel oil from the refinery, conversion to distillate. Now, going by the same additions to the same technology, you could further destruct this distillate in the same set of units like the SCORE unit or the FCC to achieve even further conversion from what you saw in this example. However, even with this example here, you see that the gross refining margin upliftment is almost $18 per barrel, which is phenomenal given the conversion that you achieve with the new configuration. Similarly, if I move to a gasoline-oriented refinery, what I would see here again, yes, it's a busy slide, but what you see here are the original configuration of the blocks and units. If we look at some of the additions here, for example, the solvent deasphalting in the vacuum resid and routing the deasphalted oil to a Maxofin unit, that enables using the available naphtha in the refinery also as a feed stream and eventual conversion to propylene. The C4s could be converted using the solid acid alkylation that KBR offers to a high value product blend stream for the gasoline market. Alkylate today fetches a lot of value, and effectively the profitability from this, although your liquid volume would remain the same practically, if you look at the two configurations, you would find that your higher value conversion and chemical conversion from the new configuration gets you a margin upliftment, but at the same time also enables you to convert the normal fuel streams into high value blend stock like alkylates. Also, this configuration is an all C3 configuration, so a complete propylene production refinery.
Thank you.